Good morning, Miss Amanda.
How are you?
I am in a genuine sweater and I need it because we slept with the windows open last night and it is 54 degrees outside. So it's like high 60s in my house right now. And I'm like in jeans. You can see my jeans. And I'm really happy about it. I've got my Joanna Gaines earrings and I went ahead and recolored my hair because I may be crunchy, but I like my hair the way I want my hair. And I'm tickled. I am just tickled. We went, sorry, I'm gonna jump right in.
Yeah,
We're
go
having
ahead.
catch up today. So, one of the things that we do annually because we're just goofballs or weirdos or whatever you want to say, we hunt for buckeyes because we don't do anything with them. I posted on my personal page about us going hunting for buckeyes, and someone was like, "Well, what do you use them for? What do you do with them?" And I was like, "Nothing. I hold them in my hands and I play with them and I look at them and say, 'Oh, aren't you so pretty?'" Um, but we went out to our spot Sunday, and I was just thinking, we're just going to see that they're still on the tree. There's not going to be very many to pick up. We got a whole basket full and brought them home on Sunday. And so, yeah, guys, fall is here. I'm tickled. I'm very happy. It may be false fall, but I don't care. I'm pretending like it's real fall. And I'm thrilled. I have a hot drink and I need it to be hot. And I have my sweater and I'm doing
And I'm jealous.
okay. Good move north.
No, thank you. Like, it's cool outside right now, and so I can justify having a sweater on. And it's a thin sweater, and I told Diana I'm just kind of faking fall with my long sleeve sweater because it's I have a fan on and I'm wearing shorts under this. I'll change shirts as the sun starts to come up here, but it's annoying. But just it will be false fall tomorrow. We're gonna get one day of low 70s,
Oh.
and then we're going back up to 80s.
Well, we bounced into the 80s yesterday, but the nights are going to be consistently high 50s, low 60s from here on out, as far as I can tell for us. Which, I mean, there's always Indian summer around the end of September, but pumped.
Yeah,
We're going to have a little campfire tonight. It's going to be glorious.
sounds
Love
wonderful.
having fires. A little bit of a firebug for those of you who don't know. I enjoy fire a lot. I'm not an arsonist, like being very clear. Like I'm not I don't enjoy house fires or anything like that, but we have a wood stove in our house and I'm like I just love it. I love starting the fire, I love feeding it, taking care of it, the way it smells. Like firebug.
It smells glorious.
My husband gets lots of kisses when he smells like a campfire. Like you just smell so good.
Oh, well, as you said, this is our catch-up episode, and this is an actual catch-up episode.
Instead
It
of
is
just a
not
review of fall.
it is not that I'm recording a catch-up episode while you were recording what we'd actually planned on recording.
We're on the same page this time.
I told Shane that we were gonna have 15 minutes, which it turned into 13 minutes after editing, of the two of us recording two separate episodes before we realized it. But it is what it is. And here we are. We're making it work.
Mhm.
I'm really excited. Like, I don't feel like we've done a lot, and that makes me happy.
for a change. We
Yes.
just have a few things to talk about. A whole ton of things.
Yeah. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay.
So we're technically talking about like the end of August in this last week, which was weird to me because I had to get my calendar and look at it and be like, wait, what happened in August? I don't know how your guys' year is shaping up, but that's how my year is shaping up for. What happened? Well, we did State Fair in August, obviously, and that was a great trip. I I love State Fair, guys. I don't care what state fair it is, Indiana, Kentucky. I love both of them. They're just so fun to me. I love seeing when you have like dairy cows, for example. You get to see all the best of all the breeds of dairy cows. And you get to see all the best of all the breeds of chickens. Like, I don't know why. That just makes my soul happy seeing all of those. So that was a good day when we got to go to the state fair and get to see all the animals and the kids' projects and have fun food. And obviously, it's over now, but if you're ever in Indiana and you can't decide what to get at the Indiana State Fair, the pork tent is always a win. Like, it's like the Indiana Pork Farmers Association or something like that. I may not have that name exactly right. Always a win. And I got a fabulous pork chop, and Chris got a pork chop sandwich, and the kids got pulled pork sandwiches. And we got these pit tater things. It was lovely. I just love the food. Um, and the kids know that I have to have a good lemon shake-up. We literally scoped out 10 different lemon shake-up places before I found one that I approved of and that I enjoyed my lemon shake-up from. Very particularly. So we have been trying to incorporate having the kids stay up late, each of them with us at least once a month. And by stay up late, we're talking like 9 o'clock. We're not talking like midnight or anything because their bedtime is usually around 8. So when Chris was doing on call with his previous job, um, that happened every other weekend, and he would be gone originally. Like he would actually go to the hospital so he could be on hand before COVID, when you couldn't do telehealth. And now, since COVID, telehealth is insurance approved and all those things. But during that season, um, I would be home alone with the kids when he would do those nights. And I started letting one of the kids each of those nights, and we'd rotate children, stay up late, and they would watch a movie, and we'd have a special snack, and they'd get one-on-one time with me, and they really, really enjoyed it. And we haven't done that in a while because when Chris was doing on call, he was able to do telehealth, and then he hasn't done on call for several months now. So last month was the first month that we really got to get back into the routine of letting one kid a night stay up late with both of us. And they get to choose from playing a game, watching a movie, reading a book, puzzles, whatever. They get to choose what we do. And we let them pick a special snack that's like in our budget. And that was really fun this last month. We got to get through all three of the kids, and it it sounds silly when there's just three, but they don't get a ton of one-on-one time with mom and dad. Like, I talk to them all day long and we have conversations all day long, but it is really big to them when they get to have just that hour or two of mom and dad's undivided attention. Even if we're doing something or watching a show, they really just blossom having that time with us. And so I'm really excited we're doing that again. And we already have plans for this month for doing that again. We've got it on the calendar because you got to put it on the calendar, guys. If you want to do stuff like this,
Yeah.
got to prioritize it and put it on your calendar. And please, 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 you have multiple kids, do something like this. Take them on a date, let them stay up late with you, do something like this because um, we've had a couple of conversations during these nights that I'm like, oh, didn't know that was going on with you. And that wouldn't have happened. And obviously, it hasn't happened. Your siblings are all awake. Um, So that's been good this month doing that. And what else has been going on? Um, Mentions that my dad got hurt a while back and he's doing much, much better. And him and my mom have been married. Gotta get the number right. Yeah, 40 years, y'all. 40,
Wow,
40
congratulations.
years in August. They were married 40 years. And just,
Which is
I don't know.
weird. Like, I'm not sure how that actually happened because your mom cannot possibly be older than 42.
Oh, bless your heart. She will love to hear that.
Like, I was looking at a picture that one of your siblings posted of your parents on Facebook, and I was like, she does not look that much older than Diana. She had to have been like 10 when she was born.
Um, I think I would say having 7 kids kept mom youthful. She would say having 7 kids make her tired. But she enjoys her grandkids. Both her and dad enjoy the grandkids a lot, and they are trying to stay very involved with them. But for their 40th, they went to Colorado and had a very chill camping trip in Colorado. And they camped out next to this gorgeous, I would have called it a small river. They call it a creek in Colorado, or brook, or whatever word they use. And just got to soak up mountain air and the views and rest. I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. So tickled for you guys. And so they're back now. And I don't know, that was just I wanted to share. We started school in August. We had our first week the last week of August, and we have also started up our co-op. So we've had meetings leading up to that, like the parent meetings, and we have had a co-op picnic, and we've had our first co-op now. And kids are very excited about that because they get to see all their co-op friends every other week now. So that's good. I love co-op, but co-op also tends to stress me out a little bit because the way that this we have 2 co-ops that we're involved in for homeschooling. And one of them is more social. Like it's more, we do field trips, we do play days, we visit parks, we visit people's houses sometimes. Um, and that one is not so stressful because I'm not in charge of organizing those things. I'm just in charge of showing up. And this one that we're going to though is more of a educational co-op, the one that I'm talking about right now. So last year with this co-op, we did science all together. And we went through, like, imagine going through the days of creation and what happened on that day and using that as the basis for science, like for what you're doing that day. So we did like earth science and botany and animal science and um, weather and water, and like we went through all those things. This year we're doing history, specifically American history. So it's not as much my strong point. And in this co-op, all of the parents who have kids in the co-op have to participate in some form of teaching in a class, one of the classrooms. So um, that's what we're doing this year. Is we're doing American history, and I am helping to teach along with the other moms that are in our classroom, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good
I got you, sis.
thing. Good.
For those that don't know, my first 2 years of college, I was double majored in social studies education and history. And then when I switched colleges, they just didn't have a history. It was still very, very early online. I switched in 2010
Mhm.
and was doing online classes, so they didn't have a whole lot to offer. And so I, of course, couldn't flesh that out, but also, like, what would I do with a history degree other than teach it? And
Mhm.
I had decided I didn't wanna do education.
Mhm.
So I am
I
so
mean,
excited. Like, I've already started planning, like, I know in Kentucky, you don't have to do, history until you're in the 4th grade, but that doesn't work for me. So I will probably start some sort of history in kindergarten. Like, something minor, like
yeah.
the big stuff, you know?
Well, so the Playful Pioneers that we get from,
Peaceful Press?
thank you. It wasn't coming. It wasn't coming. Um, it's like sort of a like it goes through very early American history. It goes through the westward expansion. And then they also have one that's called Kind Kingdom, but that's more geography based, but it also deals with some history stuff because it talks about like Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe and why the kids were in countryside of Heaven Seas. Um, and it's kind of more geography based. But there are programs out there that incorporate history at a very early age. And there's just fun stuff with the early American history. Like there's fun things you can do, there's fun things to learn, there's fun people to learn about. Um, and one of the things that I love about the co-op is having different moms and their different talents and the different ways they teach all coming together. And in our first co-op meeting, you could really see that because one of our moms, like, she's really good with words and like defining words and breaking them down for the kids and helping them understand these bigger words that were being used in our lesson. And then there's another mom, and we had to kind of condense one part because we were running out of time. And it was talking about the early European settlements in America. And the way that she described it is she pulled three kids out and she goes, "Okay, you're the king of Spain and you're the queen of England." And she gave one of them a crown and she gave one of them a mustache and she gave another one a beard. And she's like, "And you're sending settlers here to this city, and you're sending settlers here to this city, and you're sending settlers here to this city. And there you go, the first three colonies." Was like, that was great though, because those kids that she picked out to be that king or queen are going to remember, oh yeah, I was that king and I established St. Augustine, or however it was. Or I established Jamestown. So it was great. It was a lot of fun to
Yeah.
see all of them do that. And we went to a wedding. That was fun because we got to dance. I like to dance with my hubs. If you have not if you want to dance with your hubs, but you don't want to get out of the house for dancing lessons, and like to do like living room date kind of stuff, I recommend Show Her Off DVDs. They're not terribly expensive, and you can go through them at your own pace. You can go through them over and over again. They are a little more, I don't want to call them swing dancing,
More
and it's
like
definitely not
country.
line dancing.
Yeah.
You could do it to any kind of music. It doesn't have to be country. The guy who does it is very country. The guy who's teaching you how
Mhm.
to do it is very country. Um, but you could take the moves and incorporate them to any kind of dancing music except for like club dancing music. Like it's not that
Yeah.
kind of dancing. Um, I guess it's kind of more swing-ish type dancing because there's a lot of spins, there's some dips, um, and it's a little cheesy, the guy who teaches it, but they're really basic, like quick moves to pick up. And you get to use them when you go to weddings. It's great. So we got to do that. And oh, so my nephew is in football, and I have not been a football person so much. Like I would watch a football game here and there when I was at college, but I've never had a team. I've never really cared that much about Super Bowl. Like I'm not that person.
Go, Joe, go.
Um, but I'm all about nephew in football. and we've been to 2 games now, and they're so fun. It's so fun to watch him play. The first one was hot as Hades,
Hmm.
awful. But this last one, I was like, oh, this is pleasant. We can do this. We can sit out here and have a good time. The first one, they were really worried about the kids because um, it was hot enough they could have gotten heat stroke. So um, it was funny because they had these water bottles and the kids can't hardly like drink from a water bottle like you're supposed to. So they'd open their mouth and they'd squirt through their helmets to get the water. But then I noticed that they're not just giving them water to drink, they're like hosing them down.
Oh,
And you'd see them hold their little jerseys out and hose them down inside their jerseys because they're just so hot because they've got all their equipment on, they've got their helmets on, they got their pads on, and it got really hot that day. So last time though, it was a lot nicer outside for him. It was fun. And Tori, of course, is our loudest cheerer in the sidelines. And I'm pretty sure my nephew can hear uh, him through his helmet and on the field and over everything else. Um, that's kind of the last of our month after we had our conversation before.
that's fun. One of mine was going to be that we took E to his first football game last weekend.
Oh,
And like, I love football. My husband is okay with football. I love it.
I don't understand it very well. And so, bless their hearts, my sister and her boyfriend are continually having to explain to me this is why they got a foul. This is why they're setting up again. This is why that touchdown didn't count. I got really mad because this one, they have the cutest little quarterback you've ever seen. Like, he's smaller than my nephew, but that child is fast. And watching him just sprint down the field at full speed is so fun. And I was like, but he worked so hard for that. Why didn't it count? He did so good. I was so mad. I was so mad on his behalf. I was like, that should have counted.
I'm assuming there was a flag on the play.
Well, one time it was a false start and they didn't
Oh,
catch it fast enough. And I think the other time there was a flag somewhere. There was a flag that was thrown and he didn't know about it. And none of us saw the flag because we were focused on him running.
yeah,
Um, so yeah,
that happens a lot.
I was very sad. I was like, no, that should count. He worked so hard. That should count.
I am a Bengals fan.
Hmm. We're not
Uh,
far from them.
yeah, that's part of like, I grew up for years. I didn't know there was another team but the Bengals. Um,
I didn't even know there was other options.
Kentucky doesn't have a football team, and so the Bengals are kind of like the closest thing we got.
He does have a football team.
Huh?
I guess they don't have a like an NFL team. They have
N-
college teams.
yeah, but I don't like college football.
Oh, that's all I'm familiar with, really.
I like high school and I like NFL. I don't
You
like
like high school
college.
and pro.
Yeah. So, um, we've kind of adopted the Bengals will train in the town that my mom grew up in.
Hmm.
So, like, we've claimed them as our hometown team.
Nice.
Um, for a long, long, long time, I was a big fan of the Patriots,
Hmm.
but um, I was really obsessed with Tom Brady.
Hmm.
And when he retired, I was heartbroken. And then when he came out of retirement, I was like, was this just a show? Why did you
Hmm.
do that?
Was this just to get attention?
And then he retired again, I'm pretty sure, because like after that I lost. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in this. Why are you
Lost of
coming
fans.
back and forth? Like I
Hmm.
did the same thing with the what was his name? Mark Martin. When he
Hmm.
kept retiring and coming back and retiring and coming back. It's like I'm not gonna mourn you anymore.
I'm not gonna mourn you anymore.
Um He
I
got
don't
like
know
I
if
don't
you're
know.
serious or not.
Yeah, he got I don't know how many grandfather clocks and rocking chairs, and I'm just like, oh no, this is old news. He's gonna do this again next year. Like Jimmy Johnson's gonna win and he's gonna retire. Um, but where was I going with that? Oh yeah, like I don't like when groups or people make things too political.
Mhm.
Like, I have my opinion. You are not going to influence my opinion one way or the other. You have yours, I'll have mine. Stop.
Mhm.
And the Patriots got really political really quickly. And I was like, I'm not going to support that. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I'm just going to go back to the Bengals and be happy about it. And wouldn't you know, I make that decision, they go to the Super Bowl. Not saying I had any influence over it.
But
Just
maybe.
saying they hadn't gone before I was cheering for them regularly. So, like, I love stuff like that. But this weekend, the school that my husband graduated from, South Laurel, was playing an away game that is still just like 30 minutes down the street. And like growing up where I grew up, that's nothing. Like I had
Mhm.
people say all the time, like, oh, it's too far to drive between London and Corbin. No, it's not. Like, hush. It is 20 minutes. Come on. Um, but uh
I'm at least 30 minutes away from everything, so
yeah,
20 minutes doesn't sound bad to me.
yeah. And it's like 20 minutes of interstate driving. Like, come on. Well, not even 20 minutes interstate, but like 10 minutes interstate, 10 minutes, roads to get you there. It's not that bad. Everybody needs to calm down. Especially one of my neighbors was posted on Facebook yesterday. She was like, I could find this in Corbin, but I can't find this in London. Can anybody in London help me out? And I'm like, you can go 5 minutes that way or 7 minutes that way. What is that 2 minutes going to save you, really? Come on. Like, hush, hush. But anyway, they were playing an away game, and we kind of figured most people are going to have that view. If that's too far away, I'm not going to go.
Mhm.
And so our section's going to be fairly empty.
Mhm.
Let's go support these kids.
Mhm.
We were hoping the band would be there. They didn't show. We were hoping cheerleaders would be there. They didn't show. But they had the best pep section. Like a couple of times, a couple of the kids were kids,
Mhm.
but it wasn't that often. The minute the color guard came out on the field, not even taking the field, when they came out to get ready,
Mhm.
all of the pep section stood, faced the flag, and put their hand over their hearts.
No.
During the national anthem, every member of the pep section sang every word.
Love it.
But they didn't sing it like so loud that they were drowning out the student singer from the other school.
Mhm.
They were just so respectful with it. And I was like, this is wonderful.
Mhm.
I love this. There was a BS chant once, but I told Shane they deserved it. It was a terrible call. Everyone knew it was a terrible call. Even the other school was like, are we sure?
Yeah.
But that's a whole side tangent. E loved
So
it.
at the last game we were at, sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
I just learned there's something called a sympathy call. Have you heard of this? Where they will make some kind of fake call at the very end of the game. This kid, again, this cute little runner kid, had made a touchdown, and it was the very end of the game, and my nephew's team was up by quite a bit, and he made a sympathy call so that that score didn't count in the final score,
I think that might
so that
just be
the
for
other
the
team
Weedles.
didn't lose by as much.
think that might best be for the Weedles.
Maybe, but it just made me mad too. I was like, that kid worked really hard for that, and there wasn't a legitimate thing. Like, I was very upset. I was like, yes, we won. And what he did should have counted. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. You said Eve
You know,
really
you're
liked the
good.
game.
He did.
I was very upset.
The first half, he would like watch it a little bit and then watch the phone
Hmm.
because on the weekends he gets more phone time. And so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Boo Boo, which is what he calls YouTube. And then I was like, okay. But Shane went and got us ices like just before halftime. And so we were eating them at half, and then when the next half started, he forgot a phone existed. And he would go from dad's to mine and dad's to mine because we each had different flavors. And then finally he was just like, okay, dad, no, I hold. I hold. And he
It's
just took
mine
the
now.
spoon.
It's mine now.
He would cheer. I have videos. I need to send you some of him like getting so excited and cheering. And he didn't even watch like half the game. He would watch when the play would start because he liked to see them all take off.
Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't watch anything else. And he would watch the adults and go, there
Copy
was
everybody else.
there was a guy there that had hooked up like a bullhorn on a drill. And so
What?
there were like three horns, and instead of like pressing a button or he would pull the trigger to the drill and it would go as long as he'd hold that trigger in. It was great. It was hilarious. It'd scare you to death if you're not paying attention to the game.
Uh-huh.
But everybody's cheering. And it was I think we may have got a first down or something. It wasn't a big deal.
Mm.
Um, but Eli looks up at the guy with the horn. He goes, beep, beep. And everybody's laughing at him. And he goes, beep, beep.
I'm serious here, people.
So the guy, like, does the horn for him. He's like,
There you go.
beep,
Good
beep.
job.
Oh gosh, but I guess getting back to like what else happened other than the game. That was just so fun. I enjoyed it. Um, oh gosh, we had a wedding
Mhm.
mid-August.
And you looked fine.
Thank you. It was the most efficient wedding I've ever seen. I loved it. I'm taking notes like to tell other brides. She comes in like after the wedding, everybody comes in, we're seated. They gave a seating chart to kill time.
Hmm.
Perfect idea. Perfect idea. Because then while everybody's trying to find their seats, they are taking bridal party pictures. We come back in, like they're coming in as everybody's getting their drinks. And then um they come in, they announce the bridal party goes to sit down. The couple comes in, they stop. But like before they sit, they do a 90-second first dance. Uh The groom sat down, the dad came up, they did a father or a mother or, oh my gosh, father-daughter
Father,
dance,
daughter. There you go.
90 seconds. They both sit down, the groom comes back, his mom comes up, she was way too young to be his mom. They do a dance.
I hope people say that about me at kids' weddings. Be okay with that.
The mom sits down, the bride comes back, they cut the cake. Have fun, everybody, and they leave and go get their pictures taken. They come back, do a full outfit change. She looked amazing. And like go around and like after they changed, they're like, hey, how's everybody doing? And then at one point they told us they were like, we are going to dance. If you are interested in dancing, stay. However, the entire groomsmen party were all Marines. Marines and Army, I think. And they're like, while we are not providing beverages, beverages are here. And we are going to hold off on the party until after grandma leaves.
Oh no.
And we left as grandma was leaving.
I I like I was so young when I got married that beverages were not an option. Y'all, I wasn't legal. I was 20. Um, I like that they planned to stay and have a good time though. I feel like sometimes I'm at a wedding and they're just ready to be done and gone. And I'm like, guys, you don't get a lot of chances to celebrate and party. Like, enjoy this. You already paid for all of this. Like, have fun, hang out. Like, I don't know. I get kind of sad when I feel like everybody's like, okay, we're done, bye. Like,
Yeah.
including the bride and the groom. I'm like, enjoy this. I remember I was in college talking to one of my friends who was used to Irish weddings. And she's like, Irish weddings last for days. And the parties last for days. And she said, I went to my first American wedding and I felt gypped. I was like, what is this? This is not a wedding. This is not a party. And I like that idea. Like if you plan for it, like do it. Like have a good time.
Yeah.
Me, that's my 2 cents. My unmerited, unwanted thing about wedding.
Yeah. Like it was a fun wedding. Very efficient. We were happy.
Hmm.
I'm trying to look to see what else.
I want to talk about your visit to me, but that's technically September, and I want to save it for September.
Oh, see, this I was gonna go ahead and be like, for
Okay,
the
let's do it
last two
then.
weeks,
Let's do it then.
I got to go see Diana
Uh-huh.
and we went to the zoo and it was so much fun and I loved it.
It's a good day.
Um, I guess the only other thing for me, well, there was okay, okay. There's still a lot that I don't want to say.
Uh-huh.
And I have already said in another episode that we got the TPR and we were in our appellate window.
Yes.
We are out of the appellate window.
Oh,
We
just
were,
every step
yeah,
makes me so excited. Like I'm just like, please, 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 please.
Friday, we were unofficially out because, like, at that point, it's too late. I close the business day on Friday. It is too late to file an appeal
Right,
because Saturday, Sunday, they're closed.
right.
Monday, it's too late. The actual last day was Sunday. And so we were officially out on Monday. And like, I thought when I got here it would be worse because, like, I don't know the process from here. And I've heard so many different things. But then I talked to his worker and our attorney, and his worker has a meeting with our worker essentially, um, because it's her office. And she is going to be suggesting that he get a transitional worker, and then we're going to get a transitional worker, and then things are going to go really fast. And I've asked, like, can you give me an estimated time to my worker? And she's like, no, but soon. I was like, okay, but I've heard about this. And she's like, soon. I was like, okay, but I heard about this. And she just said, like, the first time she's like, oh, well, you should hear from somebody soon. And I sent her another message, like, okay, but when is soon? And she's like,
Hmm.
you should hear from them soon. And I was like, okay, but I know about this person. And it took 6 months. And like, when is soon? And she goes, soon. And she's like, can I just come see you? I'll be there
Yes, please.
tomorrow.
Yes, please.
I was like,
Yes,
yeah,
please.
yeah,
Yes, please.
absolutely. What time? We'll cancel things if we have to.
Mhm.
Um, so she's actually coming today.
You have to.
But she is just our worker.
Right.
So, but it's her office that does the transitions. So the process from here, as far as I can tell, um, as soon as I can get my attorney to get back to me, it's a whole other thing. We can make a plan to go
I'm
and oh, me too. We can go make a plan to um file the adoption petition. And once that's done and in, we can have a court date. And in the meantime, we will have a transitional worker that I'm not sure what they do or how long they're going to take. But everything I've heard says once you get the transitional worker, things just fly. So it looks like we may have this done this year after all. And for the last month, we really weren't sure.
Well, and for the last month, we've been told, well, we've seen these people take this long, we've seen these people take this long. Like it's really a broad variation of window options. Like
Yeah. But I'm hoping by the time we have his birthday parties, everything's going to be already done. And we will have
I
just had like 4 parties.
cannot wait for this boy to be like he's yours.
Yeah.
Like that nothing's going to change that. Like he's yours. But just so you guys know, our families like we've known about this from the very beginning. We've known E from the beginning, and my kids know that he's not fully adopted yet. And y'all, we pray for E weekly at minimum. They ask me probably every other week. So, Mama, is he theirs yet? Like, is he all the way like official layers yet? And I'm like, we're working on it. We're working on it, babe. So just excited.
We're so close. And there was a moment, I think it was last night, where he was playing in the floor and he is the personality that if he wants something, if he decides he wants it, he needs it now,
Hmm.
not later. We're not waiting. You go, you do whatever you have to do to get this here now. And I was like, hush, Shane. I don't know anybody that have personality, do you? Like, I just can't grasp. And he just looks at me and I was like, oh, is that because he's mine?
Pretty sure. Sure he's yours.
Oh. Um, I'm trying to look. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but oh, I was also going to talk about what simplicity parenting has done to me.
I love it.
Oh my word. Okay, so we have talked for 2 months about the fact that I've been working on my garage, and it just, no matter what we did, we just couldn't get it done. So,
And you were doing genuine work on it. Like you did
yeah,
huge work on it and got rid of a huge amount of stuff.
yeah. Well, we also went and bought like shelves that are 100 pounds each and insane. But man, the men at Costco are super friendly, but that's a whole other story. Um, but I'm not focused now because I'm thinking about like how nice are the men at Costco? Anyway, we got the
Plug for
shelving.
Costco. Woo woo.
But we got like our shelving and stuff done. Just hadn't put it up. Like we got it here. We just couldn't find the time. And so we were like, okay, Labor Day, no matter what, we are working on this. Like it has to be an actual natural disaster where our lives are at stake for us to not work on this. And so E played in the yard all blessed day. We also had some security cameras. And I told Shane, like, I can build stuff by myself. I can't put that up. You go put that up. I'll work on building this. And then gave me like major cred with my dad when he showed up and like I'm in the garage putting this shelf together and I got my hammer and like I'm somebody It was my dad, my mom, my grandma, and my aunt all showed up to help.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And like my
And having those
grandma's,
extra hands had to help so much.
oh yeah, my grandma's entire job was just to watch E.
Yeah.
But
Which is a
then,
job.
yeah,
A very
but
busy boy.
then like my dad comes in and he's just like, he's got this strut that he's always done. And he's just like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm putting the shelf together and it would be great if you could come and please hold this. And he's like, well, where do you want me to hold it? And I was like, right there. It's like, all right. And I'm hammering the stuff in. And he was like, all right. And I was like, I'm not done. Can you hold this, please? He's like, my dad calls them constructions. They're not instructions, it's construction. He's like, where's your constructions at? And I was like, over there.
I've already read them, Dad.
And
I already
he's
know what
like,
I'm doing.
why aren't you reading them? And I said, because I watched a YouTube video that could tell me more than those constructions ever could. I watched a 7-minute video. I know what I'm doing. I put that one over there together completely alone without touching those. I'm doing this. And he's
Yeah,
like, all right.
I love it.
Like we put the shelves together and we put everything up on the shelves and it looks amazing. I almost cried when I saw it. It was wonderful. But then I was like, oh, the garage is done. We're gonna go simplify my kitchen. I don't think I've
So
told you this. Yeah.
you told me you were going to do it, and one of your original plans, I didn't know if you still had space for it when you were done with the shelving, was to use part of the garage because her garage is right off her kitchen.
Yeah.
Was to use part of the shelving in the garage as like storage for the cookware that you guys don't use as often, and just to give you some extra counter space and free space in the kitchen. Were you able to save some of the shelving space in the
Oh,
garage for kitchen stuff?
oh. I
Yay!
have about 10 plates in my
Mhm,
cabinet. I have 4 drinking glasses, 4 juice glasses,
mhm,
4 bowls, and
mhm,
nothing else in that cabinet.
mhm,
Um, I took out all of, like, the fun cups,
mhm,
like, we have a lot of wrestling cups and movie cups
mhm.
from going to shows, and I took all of those out and only put back, like, the cups that we use daily or weekly.
Mhm.
Me and E use them daily, Shane doesn't so much. I put those in excuse me, in a separate shelf. All of our, like, appliances that we don't use that often got taken out, and the ones that we do use, like, at least once a month were put on the shelves. All of our servingware is out.
Mhm. I
Most of
mean,
our
it just makes
bakeware is
sense because
out.
those things aren't stuff you use often enough to be taking up
S
space in your kitchen. And you guys don't have a ton of easily accessible storage in your kitchen
Mhm,
either. So you really need to only have what you absolutely use often in there.
yeah. Well, now that that's out, oh, I guess also before in the months between the garage is almost done and the garage is done, while my grandmother was here to help me clean, I did a good clean, like, I helped clean the appliances because 'cause I've been watching TikTok and it's shown me things. Have you ever
Like cleaning
cleaned
out
your
your washing machine.
agitator in your
I don't have an
washing machine?
agitator.
Oh, that's even better.
I've got one of the like front load ones that's just got the drum.
There's still some cleaning videos for that I
Oh no, 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 no.
suggest.
I take it back. My mom has the front load one that has the drum. Mine is a top load, but it doesn't have an agitator. But, oops, just lost my paper.
Um, I
Because
clean
I've
my
got the one that can
agitator.
handle like 10 pair of jeans at a time.
Yeah.
I don't mess when I do laundry. If I'm doing laundry, I want it done now.
I I took the agitator apart
Hmm. Gotta be so gross.
I took it
I've seen
apart
those videos.
because, like, you don't think about it. And honestly, I didn't realize you could.
Hmm.
I didn't know what that thing did or how it worked or like, but there's a little cap on it and you can pull the cap off and all of this dirt and grime and grit is trapped in there and a lot of it is from like not even necessarily your clothes, but there's such a thick film from detergents. So I took my steamer and I broke a lot of that up and then it took me 4 kitchen rags to finish wiping the agitator and then, like, the rim around the washing
Yeah,
machine
that
clean.
steel gets in there.
Yeah. So, finally got all that cleaned and was super proud of that. Learned how to clean the filter in my dishwasher. I didn't know there was a filter,
I don't have a dishwasher, so I don't have that problem.
and now I have to clean it, like, in my head because I let it get so gross before. I have to clean that in between every single wash. I'm not talking like a rinse. I'm talking I get a brush and I'm scrubbing that sucker because man, I didn't know it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but while like after I finished that, I went into E's room and I have started our toy library. I need to organize it better,
Hmm.
but I took all of the toys that were on top of the toy box that he's not played with in ages, and I put them in a bin, and I put them out in the garage, and then I went through all of his clothes, and I took them, like I divided them by size and season, and I put the rest out in the garage.
Good. That's gonna make his room feel so much better.
Oh, yeah. Like, I haven't cleaned the closet. Closets are a whole separate beast. I took the clothes out of the closet, put back the clothes, but, like, as far as cleaning out everything in it, no. But then, like, I have sorry, um, in his dresser, I only have clothes that he can currently wear.
Wonderful.
There's a couple of outfits that are too small, but I was like, I'll just wait instead of, like, making a separate box for that for, like, 2 or 3 items. I'll
Mhm.
wait, and then next year, hopefully, we can't wear these clothes anymore because we went from 18 months to 12 months to 9 months to 12 months. So hopefully by next year, he's gonna have this huge growth spurt and he can't wear any 12 months clothes anymore.
He drinks the raw milk.
No.
Drink it, like even if you put chocolate syrup or like a shake mix in it or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
I just wondered because Eb's been having a growth spurt, and his knees have been hurting him the last 2 weeks because he's
Mhm.
growing so fast again. And up until this point, he hasn't complained about growing pains, but the last 2 weeks he's been like hobbling around because his knees hurt. And I told him he hadn't been drinking milk because I hadn't made chocolate syrup. And I was like, dude, get you a glass of chocolate milk after I made the syrup. Within hours of him having a big glass of chocolate milk, his legs stopped hurting.
Oh,
He's just growing so fast and his body just needs the calcium. So I just wondered because I feel
mm,
like it could help fatten him up a little bit and encourage the growth if he would drink it because it's just so easily absorbable.
yeah. I don't know what it is about milk. He weaned himself from the bottle. Um, he just decided he would rather have food than the bottle. And I didn't have to do anything for him. And then like when he weaned himself from the bottle, I started trying to incorporate regular milk, and there was nothing.
Mhm.
Refused. So I started doing chocolate and strawberry, and his pediatrician suggested peanut butter. He doesn't like peanut butter either, and that bothers me. Like, we're gonna have a talk about that. At some point, I'm gonna have to ground him if he doesn't start eating it. Um, but I've tried so many different things, and then he refused to drink it, and then I tried to get him to drink some raw milk, and he wouldn't have that either. He's a very particular child. I also am looking into what I can do to mask his vitamin D because he started fighting us when we try
Mm.
to give it to him, and then because he doesn't like that medicine, he is starting to fight us on all the medicines all of a sudden, and he's always
Which
been
is
so
ironically
good
because
about
he's
taking
always
it.
been good about taking it. Yeah. Well, you don't, I mean, give yourself time to think about if you want to keep that in or not because raw milk could be a thing that you freak out about. But I was just curious if
Mhm.
he would drink the raw milk.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So hopefully by next year he'll be grown.
Yeah.
And
I was talking to a friend of mine that her little girl is only 3 weeks younger than E, and I was like, "Oh, Jordan, it's Jordan Carmack." Yeah, she was on we interviewed her, and she was like, "Oh, she's just now getting into 2 teeth clothes, and she's almost 3." And I was like, "Okay, we're just getting back into 12 months, so hush." My niece that's a year younger that's wearing 2 T clothes, and I'm just like, "Must be nice."
you know where I stand on that conversation.
Yeah, like,
They're
I'm
monsters.
okay I'm okay with him growing the rate he needs to grow, and he's never gonna be the biggest kid. However, I would like for him to be big enough to do the things that he would enjoy doing.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah. My nephew is the same way, though.
I'll get there.
He's just now starting to get into, like, kids, like, average sizes for his age.
Mhm.
Um, I remember that when I met him at 3 years old, I couldn't believe he was still wearing 18 months clothes, and I was like, "Oh, he's so tiny. He's wearing 18 months, and I'm gonna have a 3-year-old wearing 12 months." But my nephew is 5, 6. He's 6. Gosh, he is 6. Oh my word. And he's just now starting to wear clothes that's, like, average for his age.
Mhm. I think, I mean, he is legitimately small, his
Mhm.
age on a growth chart, or like compared to normal, like typically developing. Normal's not a good word. Typically developing. Um, that doesn't, A, it doesn't mean he's going to stay small forever. And B, have
So what
this
if he
broad
does?
range of humanity.
Yeah.
There's some really good fast basketball players that are really tiny.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to limit him, you know? Like it's not going to actually be a limiting factor for him. And with his personality, his size is not going to be an issue
Yeah.
for whatever he wants to do. He's
The
going
only
to do whatever he wants to do.
he just can't ride the rides, and that's a bummer,
Be
especially as
able
we're
to.
in festival season.
Yeah, he'll be able to eventually.
Yeah. He just sees them now and is like, "Dragon!" And we
Sorry,
can't.
bud. So, next time we are going, if I remember right, we're going to be talking about, I want to give our listeners a heads up, and if they have any questions they want to send us, we're going to be talking about preparing for our grandma bodies, is what I think I'm
Yes.
going to call it. I am 2 years almost from turning 40. I'll be turning 38 this fall. And I've been asking my over 40 friends and some of my friends who are already grandmas what are things that they found really helpful for them because 40 and up comes with some pretty big hormonal changes not that far away. It comes with some metabolism changes that are not that far away, and just generally trying to enter that season as gracefully and healthfully as I can. So I've been kind of asking, what do you think helped? What do you wish you had done? And we are going to be discussing at least three of those things in our next episode. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Amanda and I have talked a lot about how to incorporate this because we've chosen to talk and focus a lot on mental health for moms because we
Mhm.
don't feel like it is discussed nearly enough that and normalized that this momming is hard and there's a lot of expectations put on us and there's a lot of stigmas on mental health things and we wanted to make sure that we had covered those things but there's such a toxic culture I think in mainstream ideas around exercise and health and dieting and we want to talk about that too and try to figure out okay where is the sustainable healthy lane for this and what do we think is actually going to be beneficial so that's what we're thinking about talking about next time.
Yes, very excited. But that's all I have for today.
Yeah, that's what I have too. So thank you guys for coming along with us and we hope that you find the beauty in your unvarnished life this next week. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.